Hello and good afternoon to you all. I'm outside. I wanted a different view today. I hope this is okay and you can hear me well. Let me know if there's any problems. I wanted to talk a bit about Illinois. And Illinois bill, uh, it's got a long number here. Let's see. Illinois bill. It's 225 ILCS 510. It has 15 different sections, and this, ladies and gentlemen of and non-binary, I don't know, whoever you identify as being, if you're a travel nurse, this should be very important to you. All right, because Illinois has set a very important precedent we're going to quickly go over, that I think all states need to follow, and we can contact our congressman, right, and our local state representatives and let them know that this is something their state needs because they have been sick, their family members have been sick, and they know how important good health care is. We know the system is crumbling. We know that travel nursing is the new staff nursing, right? There's a very few percentage of staff nurses that have stayed. I'm in my Royal Blue. I'm at a new assignment on week 3. Just to give you an example of how much travel nurses mean to the healthcare industry right now, I'm on week 3. We had 2 new travelers starting today. All right. I work in an ED that has 20 beds, maybe if you count hallway beds, 25, 26 beds. Half of our nurses are travel nurses. Okay, I work with 12 to 13 travel nurses, which is an amazing amount of travel nurses for the size of the emergency department. So we need to think about how important travel nurses are to healthcare industry today. Now let's talk. The Illinois bill, it was put into action on May 27th. It's called the Nursing Agency Licensing Act. It talks about a lot of stuff. It talks about standards of care. What I do like is it encompasses our CNAs, our certified nurses assistants, who we could not do our jobs without, right? They're kind of under one umbrella. And I like that. I'm a firm believer that a good nurse was an aide first. Okay? I'm just saying it because no diss to nurses that jumped right in. But if you were a CNA before you were a nurse, it gives you a different set of eyes and hands for your patients. Okay? That's all I'll say. But this act is wonderful, and it sets a precedent for travelers that we need other states to follow. Now, it does talk about mandating standards of operation, mandating standards of practice, but what it gets really interesting is like Section 14. That's where it pertains to us. So it says that, and I quote, contracts developed under the effective date of May 27th must contain the following provisions, right? If you sign a contract in the state of Illinois after May 27th, you have to know full disclosure of charges and compensation, right? Now, I know they tell us our holiday pay, our travel, our reimbursement. They may tell you, your shift differential, your charge nurse pay, on-call pay. But this also, on top of that, tells you you're going to know administrative charges and the hourly bill rate. Do you know how hard it is? You know how hard it is for us to get a bill rate. In Illinois, they have to tell you the bill rate, right? Also, there's a commitment. There's a commitment noted between the nurses or CNAs and the facility that you will be working in your scope of practice. All right, only under your scope of practice. And I see a lot of people who may be med-surg nurses having to take ICU patients. That's not cool, or vice versa. You may be having to work outside your practice. Think procedures as well. I'm at a hospital now where nurses place coude catheters. I have never placed a coude. At my other facilities, urology or your ED attending or your PA placed your coude. I have never received an in-service on placing a coude. No. So I don't place them. You have to really think within your scope of practice, unless someone is going to be there with you during a procedure that you're not done. Splints. A lot of nurses don't do splints. I'm an ER nurse, so I'm talking ER talk. If you don't know what you're doing, you have to have somebody there with you. Okay. So this tells you have to be practicing within your scope of practice. So think about procedures as well when it comes to that. But the most important part is section 3. All right. It says, and I quote, no less than 100% of the nurse or certified nurse's aide hourly rate shall be paid to the nurse or certified nurse's aide employee. Do they say that? No less than 100%. So whatever you sign on for, that's your pay for the duration of your contract. There's no letter, there's no email, there's no call 3 weeks into your contract telling you, guess what, we're going to lowball you and cut your rate by $600 a week. No, what you signed for is your rate. And if not, if they do try to mess with your rate, guess what? A party's failure to comply with the contract is considered a violation of said contract, and the defendant, you have a right to action in a state court. Your legal fees are paid. That includes your expert witnesses, right? You are you're entitled to $1,500 or whatever your actual damages are, right? Which are probably more. All right. It says whatever is greater. So if your actual loss, if they cut your contract enough where your loss is more than 1,500, you will get whatever you lost. Okay. This is the state of Illinois. Let me tell you right now. Write your congressman. Write everyone. Why aren't we doing this everywhere? Travel nursing is the future of nursing. The nurses that stayed, they stayed for a reason. They stayed because whether they felt they couldn't leave, right? Whether they didn't know they could leave, they don't know their full potential. All right. My preceptor that actually precepted me 3 nights ago, she's leaving. She's going to a different hospital. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a nurse that's only been a nurse for 2 years, and she's on the travel bug. So everyone's on it. So I'm telling you, write your congressman, write your state reps, anyone you can write to get involved, because this is a big deal. We need to be fairly compensated, and our contracts are worth something. Right? I don't all of a sudden decide to stop working nights in the middle of my contract and say, you know what? I know I signed for nights, but I'm gonna work days. I'm gonna show up for days from now. No, a contract is a contract. If we have penalties, so should they. All right, the time has come for us to get a little power back. These big hospital administrations, the gig is up. All right, we know what's going on, and if Illinois can have access to that hourly rate, guess what? The rest of us can too. All right, travel nurses, stay educated, stay wise, stay safe, keep your license. And thank you for watching. If you like, please subscribe, like or dislike the video. Either way, it helps. And yeah, I do wear a lot of makeup. Someone commented I had on too much eyeshadow. My other channel is a makeup channel. I love eyeshadow. I am obsessed with it. I will continue to wear an excess of eyeshadow. All right, all right. So listen, thank you very much for watching. I love you all, and stay safe.